What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Barber's Eye channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we got Lulu Barber. She's out here in Rocklin, California, over here at Vinyl Rock Barbershop. Now she's going to give us her story today about being a female barber, about just being a barber. We're going to hear about her history, where she's from, where she's been, and where she's trying to go, you guys. So check it out. Where you from?
I'm from Live Oak, a small ass town in the middle of nowhere. Probably like 10 minutes away from like Yuba City area. Yeah, that's where I grew up.
Born and raised?
Born and raised in Northern California, yeah.
Nice. Any siblings?
Yes, I am one of 5.
Oh, okay, you got
I'm the youngest.
In your family, anybody been barbers or
No.
hairstylists?
No.
What was your choice of coming in this field?
I always had a knack for it, so I just went for it.
What year? When year did you start?
Well, I've been licensed for 10 years now, so it's been a long time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So you went straight barber, or you did cosmetology too? Or?
Both.
Oh, both. Okay, so yeah, you got both too. That's
Yeah.
cool. So why didn't you go full women's, or just what was the choice?
At first I was thinking, oh, I could be a Cosmo and I could do everything, you know. And then I went in there and I worked at salons and I just thought, this isn't for me. I'd rather be in a different environment, doing the same thing but in a different environment. So barbering was next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your opinion, is cutting women's hair harder or cutting men's hair harder?
I would say, I don't think it's hard. I think it's
Either or.
equally the same.
Yeah. What's your challenges you feel in this industry? So I'm gonna ask you like 2 in 1, like
Okay.
as a female barber and also just as a barber, so we get 2 perspectives. You know what I mean? So female barber first.
I feel as a female barber in this industry is really hard because people don't give you that chance to sit in your chair. They judge you. They're like, "Oh, you're a woman. You can't cut."
Right,
you know?
right.
So that's really hard.
When you think about that, like, how does that like make you feel like you got to go harder, or does it make you feel like you got to kind of step back a little bit? What's your thoughts on that?
At first, I was like, what the hell? Like, no, I'm not gonna cut your hair now. Like, I remember this kid, not this shop, but one of many, came in and was like, "Hey, can I get a haircut?" And I was like, "I can get you right here, right now." And then he looks around and he's like, what about them? Like, are they available? And they're all like, "No, we're all booked." And then I looked at him and I was like, "Now I'm not gonna get you. You could leave." Like, I was so mad.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't give me that chance. Like, it was just angry. And now I see it as, I feel sorry for you. I feel sad, like, that you're raised like that. And
Right.
you don't have that open mind.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of what it is maybe how they've been raised and how they've been able to look at things, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
What's the hardest things that you go through just being a barber?
Being a barber, when somebody shows you a picture of like Brad Pitt or something, they're like,
Yeah.
"I want to look like that." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
So what do you do? Like, what do you tell them?
Well, I
Like,
tell them, okay, well, let's look at the haircut, not the whole thing. Like don't look at the face, because you're not gonna look like that. And the hair texture too, like it's not all the same. Color too.
For you, support-wise, who's your biggest supporter?
My boyfriend. Yes,
Good, yeah.
he was like, "I will support you in anything. You want to open up your own shop? I got you."
Nice.
Like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
And for you guys, last time we did Sean's interview, he kept talking about his wife, and I didn't really get a chance to bring up his wife because we're asked so many different questions. But you know, it's important to have a good support system. You know, and if it's your partner, your spouse, or whatever, that could be you know, the main thing to help you, to keep you going. You know what I mean? So that's very important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What does he do, if you don't mind me asking?
He works for a tech company.
Oh, okay.
So he's like
2
computer,
different fields, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool though, because I feel like that's like a balance too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you, in your family history, no one was a barber, hairstyle, or something like that?
No.
Is it something that you just thought about and you want to do, or what kind of like gravitated you towards that field?
Like I said, I always had a knack for it. Like, I would always do things to my hair, the little that I could. But yeah, always just had a knack.
What about, like, let's talk about income wise, because I think that's what people get into the industry, whether it's Cosmo or barber, they don't realize, like, it's not that you just get your license and then all of a sudden you end up in the shop and you start making income. Like, how was that for you?
I think it's really scary for you to graduate and then jump in right into booth rent. Like if you did that and it worked out for you, that's amazing. Because
Yeah.
for me, I think that that's really rare because
Yeah.
you have to build your clientele. You have
Right.
to, all these things go into it. I think personally, I think when you get your license, you should go to those like chop shops, the ones that pay hourly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go to
Yeah.
those. Fuck up people's hair there. Like, build your clientele. You're gonna get paid hourly regardless if you have 2 haircuts or not. You're not gonna be paying booth rent.
No, that's good advice. It really is. Yeah.
Go there, learn there. They'll teach you, and then go into booth rent.
You say you've been in the industry for 10 years, right? So in the beginning, what did you do to like maintain some income coming in and also build your skill up?
That's what I did. I went to a chop shop.
Yeah. Nice. How was that? Like,
That was interesting because I was so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna ruin so many haircuts. Like, oh, and they
Preparing
teach
yourself,
you.
yeah.
They teach you their way, but you're learning, and that way you get your base to go forward.
any advice for any young female barbers out there?
Don't show your shit. Like, don't.
That's good.
This is really, this is just weird. I see a lot of female barbers out there, like on Instagram and everything, and they're showing their tits or they're showing their ass or whatever, like
Yeah.
wearing skimpy clothes and all this shit. Like, if that's what you're going for, cool. But
Yeah.
in the bar, like for me, it's really hard. Like it's easy to do that,
It is
sure.
easy, right.
But I want people to look at my work, look
Right.
at my haircuts. You're here to get a haircut, not to look at me.
Right.
You know?
Yes. Yeah. Do you think like if females do that, right, as a female barber, do you think that kind of takes away from the respect that they get, also the level of respect that they get for the haircutting there?
Oh, absolutely. I think that. Yeah, you have to respect yourself for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember one girl asked me. She goes, "What if I did hair and I wear like a little shirt?" And I thought in my mind,
You
I thought the
could.
same. I know, I thought the same thing. What you're saying, I said, I don't do that, man. I said, well, I told her, I said, don't do that because you're just gonna lower your value. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, when I did Cosmo too, and then barber, I realized when I was learning how to do women's hair, when I was in the shop, like apprenticing, and as I was there, I realized you have to kind of like earn the women's trust to do their hair, and then for men you got to earn that respect. You know what I mean? Because there's two different levels, right?
Right.
Of how to do men and women's hair. But yeah, I think that's important for girls to know because I think especially if a girl comes in young and she don't know what to do, and how you talked about earning money, it's like you want to earn money, right? I mean, you want to be good at this field, but there's ways to do it.
Yeah.
You mean so?
Absolutely.
No, that's good. And for you guys that are wondering why we're drinking beer in the middle of our interview, which is dope. So on your Instagram, tell them what your Instagram is.
I am the beer barber. I like beer. I like to drink it. I like to talk about it. So yeah, I thought, what can I put together for my name for my Instagram or my handle or whatever?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm a barber and I like beer.
Right.
So beer
That's what-
barber.
I mean, that's what's dope about this field too, is like we're in a barbershop. I mean, if you guys don't see it, but everybody's working right now. Sean's working in the corner right there. Like, this is live. This ain't, we're not somewhere quiet. Everybody's just doing
It's
what
not
they
a set.
It's not a set. Yeah. And so that's what's cool about the barber industry, man. So why I was asking Lulu before, does she want like to be in by herself in a suite, or would she want to be around other barbers? And then can you explain what your difference was for you?
I personally, I love working with a bunch of people just because there's so many different personalities and it's just fun. You get to talk about something and then you get everybody into it and everybody's like, and it's fun. And I mean, being in your own suite, if you're like an introvert,
Right. That's
Sure.
true. Yeah.
that's cool too.
Two different type of people too, huh? Right.
Yes.
I like being around people. I don't mind being by myself, but I like to be around, like you said, the environment. It's cool.
It is.
So you say you've been in the industry for 10 years, right? That's a long time.
Yeah.
And I've seen your work. Your work's great. I mean, it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
no,
feel like I'm really hard on myself.
I mean, I feel it. Me too. Yeah, you have to be though.
I know you have to be, but sometimes I always like maybe I'm too hard on myself. Like I always see my friends and they're like where I want to be,
Right.
you know, like them at their level and stuff, and they're amazing. And then I look at my work and I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Like I'm too hard. I'm too hard on myself for sure.
Within those 10 years, did you ever want to quit, or did you ever were so hard on yourself where you felt like you didn't want to do it?
Oh, till this day, there's days where you're just like, you know what? I've been doing this for too long. Like maybe I should quit. And there's other days, you know, that you're
Yeah. So why does that pop up though?
well, like today. Well, it was actually when was it? Saturday or Friday. Some guy came in and he's all like looking for somebody that used to work here, and she doesn't work here anymore. And we're like, but we could cut your hair. I was like, I could cut you right now. And he's like, oh well, I want to make an appointment for today. And he's like, but are you good? And I was just like, I got like mad and then sad, and then I was just like, oh my god. I was like, whatever. I'm gonna book the appointment for this morning, and I'm gonna give you the best haircut you've ever had. You know. And then he doesn't show up today.
Oh man, that's even worse.
I was just like, oh my gosh. And then, like I call him, I message him, nothing. And so that is just like sets the tone for the day. I was just like, oh man,
so
I was
true.
just so sad.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about this industry. It could be emotions up and down because situations like that, right? I mean, it ain't easy, you know what I mean? Because I mean, it's hard. But what makes you stay strong though?
That I could do this, like just because that person didn't show up or didn't have faith in me, it's not gonna change the way I feel about what I'm doing.
So for you, like when you imagine yourself, you know, in a couple years, 2 years, 3 years, like what do you want for yourself? Like what do you want as a barber? What do you, as you know, as a cosmetologist, like where do you envision in your mind where you're gonna be at?
Like I said, I'm too hard on myself. Like I want to be better in this industry. There's tons of new things that you know, new haircuts that you can learn. There's always something new to learn. So I just want to keep learning. As for opening my own barbershop, I don't think I would want to anytime soon. I'm happy where I'm at here in Sean Shop. But yeah.
So I'm gonna retract real quick. But say if that guy came in again, right? And then he came and he tried to book another appointment with you. You as a professional barber, 10 years in the industry, what would you do? Like, how do you handle that situation?
What I want to do is something different, you know? But I would obviously address, like, you made the appointment and you didn't call me, or I called you and I messaged you. Like, that kind of is messed up because you're wasting my time. I could have booked somebody.
Right.
So in the industry, you have to understand, you have to speak up sometimes like that. Because some people don't know. They just don't know. They're like, oh, whatever. Like, they've never worked in an industry like that, so they don't know. But if he was to walk in, I would be like, I would address that and then give him the best haircut of his life.
Yeah, there you go. Right. And that's professionalism that comes out, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that. So if someone no-shows, what do you have in place to, like, say, if someone booked an appointment with you and then they don't show up, is there like a late fee? Is there a no-show fee? How do you handle that situation? The reason why I'm asking is because, you know, being a female barber, it's like I say, you have to kind of almost demand a respect a little bit more.
Yes,
you know
absolutely.
I mean? Yeah, so it's like, you know, you almost have to put it down before, you know what I mean? And because, like you said, how people treat you, how you let them, you know what I mean? So, what do you?
I don't think I've had anybody like no-showed and then come back. Like, they usually, I don't ever see them again.
Okay, Do you have, like, if they don't show, they still, I mean, say if they didn't show, but they come back, do you have, like, anything in place to, do you say, hey, you owe me for the cut, or what's the?
No, I would love to say that. Like, I'm charging you double or something, you know, but no,
Why not?
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of, Weird.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Would you do that? Would you?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the only reason why we do because I feel like again, yeah, if if you let, I mean, emergency happens, you know what I mean?
Right.
We get that, but again, as you said, this is not being a woman barber or a men barber. It's just like it's having those like kind of little standards because if people come in and they feel like they could just not show because they forgot, it's like okay, because our money counts
Right.
for us. If we don't work, we don't make income.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's kind of like a pet peeve for me
Oh, okay.
personally.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
and I get it, but it's not easy though. I know
It's
I make
not
it sound
easy.
but it's talking to the people, telling those people it's not easy. So I mean,
Yes.
but yeah. So
It's hard. For
yeah, no, like
sure.
I said, it took me years to get to that point too. Like I said, trust me, the first year I was like, no, like it took me years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you, what do you feel like? What do you need to work on? You feel like just to be open, like as
Like
a
with my
barber?
clients or like
For you as a barber.
as a
Like,
barber,
what things that you want to be better at?
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, I'm so hard on myself. Like, definitely for sure. Like let's say like that scenario. Like if somebody did come back, to have that courage to be like, I'm charging you extra, dude. Like
Yeah.
I want to say it, but it's just weird.
I mean, no, I mean that's really important to know because, like I said, you're 10 years in the industry, and like I said, people don't realize like how hard that human confrontation is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so, if someone that comes into, a female barber comes into the industry, it's important to know that we're all, we're all trying to learn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, I get it. Yeah. No, I get
I
it.
mean, that's never really happened to me, so I don't really
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
how I would say that.
Yeah. Who do you look up to in the barber industry?
In the barber industry, I have my friend, his name's Caesar. He doesn't have an Instagram, and he totally should because his work is amazing.
Yeah. Why don't we have an Instagram? Wait.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's an old school barber.
Okay.
I don't know. But he should. Yeah, Caesar, he has amazing work. Like we used to work together, and I would just watch him. Like I would be a parrot, like next to him,
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, what are you doing next?" Like
Right. Yeah.
I think at one point I was like, "Okay, you're gonna teach me." I was like, You're gonna teach me how to do tapers. Like this is the first step. This is what we're doing," and he
Yeah.
taught me a lot for sure.
You worked with him like for years or?
For 3 years.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So you say you come from Yuba City, right?
Yeah.
So what makes you drive out this way?
Oh well, I used to live in Sac,
Oh.
and then I used to work over here. And then we were like looking for houses, and then we moved over there. So I didn't want to start from zero all over again in a
Yeah.
different spot. That's really hard.
Right.
And I still have my clientele here, so that's why I just chose to commute.
So 10 years in the industry, at what point like did you start to build consistency for your clientele?
Oh man, I want to say it probably would take maybe 3 years. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 years.
During that time, did you work
Uh-huh.
and you worked on the side? Did you have a job or did you just fully do hair?
I even worked at 2 shops at one point.
What shops?
I worked at 2 shops
Oh,
at one
two shops.
point.
Oh, I just said a canoe shop. I go.
Oh, what is that? Like,
I was like, what is that? Oh, okay. Yeah.
no, I worked at 2 shops at one point
Oh, wow.
in my
Yeah.
career, and that was really draining.
Mm.
I like had no days off. I would go to one of the others. Sometimes other place would be like, I need you now, and I'd have to leave and go deal with the other thing. But now at this point in my career, I appreciate days off. I will
Yeah.
take
Wow.
time to
Yeah.
take days off. There's some people that do 7 days a week. That's cool.
Right.
But
right.
I appreciate my time off to spend with family, and because you can't get that back.
Yeah. No, you
know,
can't. Yeah.
So
When people hear you worked at 2 different shops and you drive 45 minutes away, like what keeps you in? Like what keeps you driven though in this field? Like what keeps you motivated to keep going?
I mean,
What's the biggest motivator for you?
I would say myself.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good reason.
It is just because like you know, you have to be your own supporter too
Right.
sometimes. But also, I think I strive to break through whatever barrier it is that in the barber industry has, especially being a woman. So that too. Yeah.
So who around in the barbershop now? How's your guys' vibe?
The
I mean,
dynamic.
yeah, the dynamic.
It's
Yeah,
really fun in here.
yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
looks fun. I mean,
It
everyone's
is.
chilling.
It
Yeah.
is fun. Like me and Sean are always yakking
Mm-hmm.
about whatever, or we're cracking jokes, or it's just a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
For new people getting into the industry, would you recommend them going to just barber school, just Cosmo, both? What's your thoughts on that?
I would say if you have your mindset and what you want to do, go for it. But if you're not, like I was, do both because you never know.
Right.
Like me, I wanted to do women's hair, and then at one point I was like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
doing
yeah.
men's hair. Yeah.
I hear you. Do you enjoy doing women's hair or something that you
I do
did?
have some clients that
Yeah.
are women, but they have shorter hair.
Right.
There's some people that do walk in that have longer hair, and that's fine too. I'll do it, but
Anything you specialize in the women's hair?
when I was in cosmetology, I was doing like blonding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's hard too. But
So from this point where you're at now, we kind of went over, what do you want to do in the next years, how you doing now, just based on seeing your guys' vibe in the shop, you're not really trying to go anywhere else right now, not trying to open up your own shop, right? It seems like it's going cool, right? So so for yourself, how do you kind of like get yourself set up to make like other moves? You know what I mean? Basically, like if you look at your situation and you go, well, how do where do you want to go? Like I'm just saying small steps, not like 5 years, 2 years. Like, where do you see yourself kind of like going from here? Staying in barbering, keep barbering.
oh yeah, for sure. A lot of people don't know, but if you're in the barber industry, you don't have retirement.
Right. That's an important thing to talk about. Yeah.
You do not. Not like a typical job. So you have to go out there and go open up whatever savings or that stuff. So personally, I feel like I'm going to do barbering forever. Like there's some old cats that are in their 70s and they're still cutting hair. Like I think that's so cool. Like
It is. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what my theory is on that? I feel like because like we're moving and we're using both sides of our brains. We're talking. We're using our hands. I feel like it keeps us. It keeps our brains moving. You know what I mean? So maybe because I've seen some guys too, and that's what gets me excited. I'm like, cool, because I can't imagine being at a desk for 20, 40 years.
No.
Yeah, and just being stuck.
And you could cut anywhere.
Yeah, and you cut anywhere. Yeah.
I mean, not anywhere because of like the license thing, but
Right.
let's say if you move to Mexico or something, you could
But anywhere,
definitely,
yeah. Live anywhere. Basically.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about barbering
Yes.
too. Yeah.
you go anywhere.
So for your is your boyfriend, fiance, husband,
Boyfriend.
boyfriend? Okay. So for you guys, him having his work lifestyle and how you have yours, how do you live your lifestyle? Like as far as together. You know what I mean? I mean, does it your schedule? I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, he works from home.
oh, that's
So
nice.
he's at, I think it's nice, but he doesn't, he wants to be out. So when I come home or something, he's like wanting to do something. And
Yeah.
I've been out all day and I want to stay home,
You're right.
so we have to like find a calming ground for that.
Do you ever feel like you're in the shop way too much?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Like all
I
day?
live here.
Yeah,
I
that's what
was
I'm
telling
saying.
Sean, I live here. Like,
Right.
this is my home. Like,
How many hours you spend in the shop?
a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I don't work Tuesdays. Like, that's Tuesdays and Sundays are my days off.
Oh, that's your days off.
Yeah.
Why do you split them?
I split it because there's this bar in my town that does a pint night.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
And
yeah.
so it was every Tuesday. And so I'm like, oh, cool, I could go get a beer that day because it's my day off. Yeah.
That's cool. No, I think it's dope that you're into beer like that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think beer, especially these days, is fun. You know,
Yeah.
it's fun that you could do. So, like I said, maybe you could make a beer A barber beer.
Yes, a barber beer.
Maybe you could make that flavor or something.
Yeah, something hair
Maybe
flavor.
it tastes like hair or something, some type of flavor, something. Maybe brute or some old school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's cool. Okay. Well, I just kind of wanted to give people your perspective. You know, Lulu the barber. I want to, you know, tell me your Instagram again.
It's beer.barber. Yeah.
Yeah, on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Instagram, yep. So follow her, check her out. I just want to give a real perspective. Like I said, again, you guys, we're in the shop. I mean, we're doing it live. I mean, that way you could see how you've been doing it.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, just kind of your perspective on the barbering. So
Yes.
for any females that want to come into the industry, what advice do you give them? What's the most deep advice you can give them?
Like I said, don't show your shit. If you want to, that's cool. But me personally, I think you should have that respect to want people to look at your work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I do want to go over that because I think that's very important.
And people don't know that.
No,
people don't know that.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Because I feel like part of that on Instagram and Facebook, we see that and we just accept it. You know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, like it really does matter. You know what I mean? That respect factor matters. So I'm glad you're bringing it up.
Yes.
You know, that's why I think it's important to have a female barber's perspective because, I mean, it's real. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, thank you. You know what I mean? So have you ever done any competitions or any shows, anything like that?
Yes. So I've been to shows, like where they show like different products and stuff like that. But I did do a competition recently, and the category was female freshest fade. And I was excited. I was like, I can do this. This is gonna be so easy. Hopefully nobody signs up for it. Like there's 2 people and I can win. Like
Where was this at?
in Sac. It's
Sacramento.
the United Barbers Club.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
they changed
yeah,
it to their thing.
Yeah, I heard of them. Yeah.
So I did that, but I made the mistake, which people shouldn't do that. I mean, if you want to, okay, whatever. But for me, since I'm really hard on myself, I looked at somebody else's Instagram that signed up, and their stuff was really good, and I was like, I made a mistake. Like, why did I do this?
Right.
And my emotions were up and down. Some days I was like, yeah, I got this. I can do this. This is easy. And then some days I was like, oh man.
So
why?
so how long until the competition did you have?
It was like a month, I think.
Yeah.
And so all these emotions, and then the day comes. I was so nervous. I remember I went up there and I was like, where's the bar? Where's the bar? The lady's like, over there. I was like, okay. I got a drink first. I had like 3 drinks. And it did nothing because I was so nervous. And I remember it was time for my category. And I go in the venue thing, and I was like, are they setting up? Are they not setting up? Like, what's going on? Like, are they going to announce it? And I turned to this guy, and I was like, is the female thing up yet? Like, the competition yet? And he's like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, okay. And I saw everybody else, like, setting up. And then I go to somebody else, and I was like, hey, is this the category or whatever? Sorry. And the lady's like, yeah, you have to go set up right now. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And I like,
spot.
yeah, on the spot, I just found a place, set up everything. And then they were announcing whatever. And there was like cameras in my face, people taking pictures. Everybody was around, like, you know. And when it started,
Your first ever competition?
yes, first
Wow.
ever.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
It was in February.
Oh, okay, not too long.
Yeah, not too
Okay,
long ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And right when it started, I like zoned out. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
yeah.
like I don't remember cutting hair. I don't. And it was done, and I was like, oh my gosh, finally it's done. I was just that nervous. And then I walked around, you know, saw everybody else's stuff, and there was some amazing work there. But I didn't place at all, so.
Hey, but at least you did it though.
I did it, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've
yeah.
never done one, so it was nice to like.
'Cause that takes a lot
do
of guts
something.
too. It really
Yeah.
does. I haven't
Yeah.
done a show yet. I just never thought about doing it. Never. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know if I do. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably nervous too.
Yeah, it was so
I'm taking shots
nervous.
too before they.
Yeah.
So what you do? You did a fade. You said a fade.
The category was female freshest fade.
Freshest fade.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So what other barbers were there that you remember? The other female barbers, right?
Yeah, there were other female barbers there, but none that I knew
Mm,
there.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's a trip. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I haven't done this, anything like that, but like I said, I know it takes a lot. Cause
Hmm.
you, like you said, you know, there's cameras going off, there's lights on you.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you're in the like middle of it? Were you just like
I don't
nervous?
remember.
Oh, you don't?
I
Oh, yeah,
don't.
that's
Like I
right,
said,
that's
like
right.
I just completely blacked out because of how nervous I was, and I was just like cutting
Oh
hair.
man, how
And
long
I've
did it
seen
last?
video. I think they go 45 minutes.
Okay. Yeah,
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 but I've
yeah.
seen video of it because one other barber here, he went to the show and he
Mhm.
recorded a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh, how embarrassing! Like,
How many other people?
in the category.
Yeah, yes.
Oh man, it was probably like 10, maybe.
I want to say, yeah.
It was a lot.
I remember seeing the flyers about that going around SAC. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you go to shows a lot, or do you go to hair battles and all that a lot?
No,
Yeah.
no.
What
I'm
made you go
scared
to this
now.
one? I mean, you did it though. You think you would jump into another one?
At first, when I finished it, I was like, okay, now I know what it's about. I could
Mm.
probably do another one. Um, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
maybe.
Oh, dope. Yeah, dope, dope.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It takes a lot of guts too. Like
Yeah.
I said, it's just I think for female barbers too, it's important to keep challenging yourself. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I think it's different, a little different now. It's a little better. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong though. Like I think guys are a lot more chiller, or I mean, some guys, but when you're doing a service, it's a little different. You know what I mean? 'Cause you still got challenges, right?
Yes.
As a female barber, I mean, you got your challenges, but I think the more the more you do it, the better you're gonna get, right?
Yeah.
And
Practice.
so
Perfect.
you just got that skill. You just get better and better. Like I said, I seen your work on Instagram. Your fades are cool. I mean,
Thank you.
you got good work. So I wouldn't be tripping. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
10 years is a long time too.
It is
That's
a
a
long
good.
time.
That's a, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I appreciate you sharing that story. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, yeah. Again, you guys, man, she does great work. Check out her Instagram, follow her, and then we're gonna share the video. You know what I mean? So we appreciate it. It was cool having a beer.
Yes.
That was pretty dope. Next time we'll have a shot.
Yeah, sure.
All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in, man. We'll check you on the next one.